Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us, Alex D. I know you're probably here watching this video to find out a little bit more either about me or find out a little bit more about eight-figure dream lifestyle and find out exactly how it is that we got started. So I thought I'd make you this quick video to be able to show you that. So thanks for watching this. A quick backstory on me so you guys can just find out a little bit more about like one of the founders. And I know, guys, 95% of what's online is pretty much either BS or it's client work, which none of us really want to do. We all want to be able to have time freedom and not have to have this huge learning curve. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about what we've been able to launch so you guys have a better idea. So backstory, 2008, obviously you guys probably know about the economic downfall. Maybe most of you were affected by it the same way we were. We saw it as a great opportunity to basically be able to start financing companies that needed the help, right? Because banks weren't loaning out. And so we partnered up with someone who was the expert. We had raised the capital and allowed him to manage the funds. Well, lo and behold, we found out it was a very bad partnership. The gentleman who was actually managing the funds actually ended up misappropriating most of the funds, and we had to deal with the SEC during that time. And it was a pretty rough time actually in my life at that time. One of the best things I remember was what my attorney told me, which is like, hey, here's the key. Some people go into a cave and they never come out, and then some people come out and they come out stronger. And if you guys believe what I believe, which is everything in life is a learning lesson, the biggest learning lesson that I had was from now on, I'm not going to let anybody else manage my funds. I'm going to build my own business and I'm going to control my own fate. So that's exactly what we did. And sure enough, it took me a little while to recover. It's probably like most of y'all did. 2015, I ended up attending a Tony Robbins course in Dallas. That's where I lived at the time. And I got a free coach afterward. And he said, listen, you just met your brand new fiance. You got one foot in Dallas, one foot in California. You really need to make a decision. So with $462 in my checking account, I decided to go ahead and move to California. Now, as you guys can imagine, what's anybody going to do with only $500 in their checking account? Well, I'm going to move in with mom, right? So you guys can tell, like, these are my mom's wonderful sheets. This right here is her view was absolutely horrendous, so I kept the blinds closed. And I was so broke, I couldn't afford a TV. But in less than 2 months, I was very blessed. I made 2 partners. We launched a real estate firm. And I went from making 0 to making 6 figures. Now, the challenges of anybody that's actually worked a job where you got to work 6-figure or have to work extreme amount of hours is that you don't get that time. And I didn't get time with my fiance. I was traveling 42 out of 52 weeks out of the year. And at the same time, my mom got sick for a little while, and I didn't have very much time to be able to spend with her. And while she was in a hospital bed laying out in Los Angeles, I was literally in New York, Miami, Chicago, basically everywhere except where I needed to be, which is with her. And so what I decided to do is start researching online to be able to find something where I can start make money and do it from home. Now, the interesting thing was the first thing I started looking at were franchises, right? Because I really like the idea of having a proven model. And the biggest challenge with that really is that it costs a lot of money, as you guys probably know, to be able to start something like a Quiznos. It's like $250,000, or a Subway. And the other part is you had all this huge cost and overhead. So what I discovered was there's really 5 components that I want in my ideal business. We all want to make, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this, got to make 5 figures a month, right? Because unless I made $10,000 a month, I wasn't able to not only sustain a good living, but be able to make extra money every month. A short learning curve, which means I could get up and running and within 60 days, hopefully be able to break even, as you can see down here. And work less than 20 hours, because if I had to work more than that, then it really wouldn't give me the time freedom. And the best part is unlimited income potential. I wanted a business I could launch where I wasn't able to just make 5 figures, but be able to build it maybe to 100,000 a month or more, but without having to spend more time. Well, my current job wasn't going to allow me to do that, and that's definitely wasn't the answer, as a lot of you guys can relate to. Traditional business, we got to deal with the headaches and the hassles of having to inventory and a boss and all those things. MLM and network marketing definitely wasn't the answer, because less than 1% of people make over $1,000 ever. Startup, you can get it going, but you're going to spend 2 to 3 years being broke before you could ever make any money. And there was that wonderful thing called internet marketing, but the challenge was it took like 6 to 9 months to figure it out. And I see all these people launching like Facebook ad agencies and all these things, but in all reality, I don't like to answer anybody else. That's the whole reason. If I wanted to start a business online like an ad agency and answer to other people, I would just keep my job. I want something where I'm actually the boss. So internet marketing was definitely not the answer. So we started looking at new systems. And during that time at a real estate firm, here's what actually happened. 2015, I came across this wonderful licensing digital products model. And it was a really cool idea of being able to license digital products because there was literally no overhead, no inventory. The products were valuable. It was a top 3 selling items on Amazon as far as the kind of categories that people were searching for. So I knew it was high in demand. And then you had these huge margins, and you can actually be able to work from home. So it had all the components I was looking for. So basically, I partnered up at that time with another company just to learn the model. And sure enough, that's where I met the other 2 founders in our current company with 8-Figure Dream Lifestyle. And we actually all made 7 figures each with that company online. The challenge was it was missing a lot of the components that were needed in order for people to be successful. And as you guys know, what was my #1 rule? That's right, be your own boss and have your own business. So what I decided to do is we decided to go in and launch our own company, 8-Figure Dream Lifestyle, in 2016. We actually private labeled our own products. That way we can basically build out our own fate, our own destiny. And in this period of time, in the last 2 years, what we've been doing is literally going through the system, tweaking it, and everything that basically wasn't working, we built it out. So we built out an automated marketing system. We built out a mentoring system as people were starting to have success. We have 15 live training calls that basically help people. We had an automated funnel that basically shows people how they wouldn't have to worry about the selling and telling because the system did it for them. And so between these 7 different systems, what was so great over the last 2 years, we found out what works, what doesn't. And now we're obviously consistently improving. I'm a huge believer in what Tony Robbins says. You're always looking to improve, and my goal is to get it from good to great to excellent to outstanding. I think right now we're at excellent, and I think we're always going to shoot for outstanding, and that's a great thing is that the only difference between that is really 2 millimeters, as Tony Robbins says. So that's what we're working on now. What's so great is during this period of time, we've developed plenty of success stories. So in the last 18 months, our system has actually created over 30 members have generated 6 figures in less than a year and a half, guys. Imagine that, being able to do it online. What's so great, in less than a year and a half, we already have people that are making 7 figures. And I'm not talking about the founders, I'm talking about the members. So that's super exciting, but I think the thing I'm most proud of is the fact that many of the members that have already generated 6 and 7 figures are ones that I've personally sponsored and mentored. And that gives me a great deal of satisfaction. And here's just a few of them. One of them is actually Massimo Leilani here. When I met Massimo, he had a cleaning business that was barely making $5,000 a month. And Leilani had a dog sitting business. They actually met through our business, which is kind of a really cool romantic love story. And in that period of time, Massimo didn't even have the capital to get started. He used our other people's money system to get started. And in the last year and a half, between the 2 of them, he's made over $500,000. She's made over $250,000. And what's so great is that they're currently, and by the way, I'm sharing these results with you because they're real, okay? So of course, not everybody may get the same results. I'm gonna give out the typical results may vary. But overall, what I wanted to share with you is what's so great about them. They have 5 kids between the 2 of them. They're able to spend time with them. When the kids want to go eat ice cream, they can go eat ice cream with them. They can go hang out with them. So that's awesome. And then we got good old Jerry, who's a retiree. Jerry, I met through he has got a financing background. When I met him, he had his financing business, but was trying to get out. What's so great is in the last year, Jerry's made over $500,000 in our business. And he loves to travel. He loves to spend time with friends. He's been able to do that. And now he's actually able to work from home and be able to go travel. And he's actually one of the greatest guys in the world. He's very spiritually in tune. For those of you who want to be able to do other things in that nature, he's been able to do it because of our business. And last but not least, we got good old, we call him Cowboy Steve because he's from Dallas, Texas. Cowboy actually, at the time I met him, he was getting downsized from oil and gas business, which if you guys have followed oil and gas, you know prices have dropped. And he went from making a 6-figure salary to a $30,000 a year salary, working the same 60 hours a week. So he decided to start in our business. And in less than a year, he's made over $250,000. Labor Day weekend is actually his 1-year anniversary, and it's been his best year ever. But here's the most important part. Not only has he made more money than he's ever made in a year, but he's been able to do it from home, spending time with his family. And the great part is, every other job he's ever had, he's never been able to take a vacation. Well, I see him on Facebook all the time now, and it's actually really almost sickening to see him and his family all the time. He's got 2 kids in college, one who's a Boy Scout. He travels with them all the time. He's able to spend time. Him and his wife are the only ones that are both parents in almost every family function. And he's been able to do that because of this business, okay? And I've got many, many more, but for the sake of time, I'm going to just let you guys watch these videos. And I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to hear from these guys directly. You're going to see a playlist now of videos of them actually sharing their success stories. It's going to do one of 2 things. One, I want you guys to see that these are real people. But 2, it's going to show you exactly what they did in the business in order to be successful. And so it's going to also end with a quick documentary that's going to put this all together for you. And once you finish watching it, if you guys want more info and see exactly if we're going to be a good match, you're going to want to watch the webinar here if you haven't done so already. It's freedomin28days.com. You also find that link in each one of the videos you're about to see. And you can call me directly afterwards at this number, my 1-800 number. And I look forward to talking to you. My contact information is also going to be on the site when you go watch the webinar. And I think my favorite part is, even though I've been able to make multiple 7 figures, and you guys remember, started out $462 less than 2 years ago, about 2.5 years now. And although I've been able to make multiple 7 figures online, and now I'm doing well in my real estate business, what I really enjoy is really helping people to live life on their own terms. I personally don't like to answer to anybody. I don't think anybody else has to. And from a spiritual level, I'm pretty sure God put us on this planet not have to pay bills for 60 to 70 years of our lives. So I want to be able to help people do the things that they're passionate about and spend time with those that they love. So if you're a professional, you're a business owner, those are the people I actually really resonate with because we have very similar backgrounds. I'm a huge numbers guy, so I can show you why it's one of the best business models I've ever seen, have an 80% profit margin pre-tax. And if you don't know what that means, I'll share it with you. But if you're business owners, you really get the benefit of being able to do that and dictate your own schedule. And what I'm going to show you is how you can excel with this business model with no headaches, inventory, long commutes to work, missing kids' time, which is really the whole reason why we do the business in the first place. And so not having to sacrifice so you can be able to spend time with the people you love the most and be able to provide for your family at the same time. And so enjoy these videos, and I will see you guys after. Thanks, guys.